Welcome back to Stick to Fitness, brought to you by myself and my co-host Archie. And for today's topic of discussion is, are the use of before and afters bad? So a lot of coaches, myself included, who sell fat loss transformations and coaching, we use before and afters for social proof. But is using them a bad thing? Can there be negatives to it? So what do you think, Archie?
I mean, I never actually really thought about this until you brought it up. Yeah. Because I was thinking, well, you know, on the one side, you can see it's good to show kind of the before and after, but then you never know if the information that they're supplying along with those photos is actually legit. I never thought about that until you kind of said it, because you just read it, you see a transformation and you just assume like, oh yeah, transformation, oh yeah, it says it took 12 weeks, whatever, but you know.
Yeah, you can write anything.
You could write anything. You could even like say they went from 100 kilos to 50 kilos in 12 weeks, like.
Whatever you want.
And who are you going to, you know, I guess that's where who you follow is kind of important, isn't it? Who you've been influenced by.
Yeah. Whether it's reliable or not.
Yeah,
but how can you accurate. How can you really tell if it is or not? Like because I definitely know there's people out there that will buy transformations.
What do you mean buy transformations?
Let's say I've done a client transformation. Somebody comes, hey, I'll buy the rights.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
So, I can't remember who somebody told me this. Somebody told me that they got offered that to buy a transformation.
I guess that's why people always put like their watermark on it. Because you could just go on someone's profile and they haven't got anything like that, and they just like, I know mine for example don't, and then you could just screenshot it and say that they're yours.
Yeah. But then if you don't know that person or they're not in that space, it's just a random coach, like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
But I guess when you said that to me the other day, and I was thinking about like people that post as well, like like people post the graph of their clients' weight loss, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and then I was thinking I could just put any number in here that I wanted to, and just say
fake line.
Yeah. Just make a line that goes down. Maybe it goes up a little bit in the middle, then it goes back down again.
Could be somebody else's.
Yeah. Well, weight loss isn't always as straightforward as it appears. So I guess doing it, I see why people do it. I see the benefit of doing it. And I guess if you're not in that space, you're just scrolling someone's profile and you're seeing all these wicked transformations, I guess it does have some sort of backing to it. I think the ones that I tend to look at more are ones where the person's been tagged or it's a collaborative post.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then I guess that's kind of like, it legitimizes it, if that makes sense.
But that's why I go to my clients' shoots. That's one of the reasons why I do it. And I try to meet them up or take pictures at least with them, because it's evidence, right? Like, this is my client. This is I've been with this person, right?
Because I don't know how else you would show what you can do without doing before and afters.
I think there's definitely ways, but I can definitely see the kind of negative side effects of it. Like, I'm not just thinking in terms of obviously people stealing other people's pictures, but I'm thinking like in terms of promoting like the unrealistic expectations of like a one size fits all. Like, it gives this image like that everybody should look this certain way.
Also that everyone can achieve it, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, because a lot of it's down to luck, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't seen our previous podcast, you have to watch it, because we will go through a lot of this.
Yeah, I think with that, it's if you're someone who does get in good shape and you're the person who has kind of masterminded them getting into that shape, if you like, I think it's always important to remember that if you're seeing them thinking I can do that client's putting a lot of hard work. Because you can have the best template from whatever coach you decide to go with or anything, and have a great template, everything be set up, but the person that's done it has done the actual graft, if that makes sense.
There's no context to the picture, is there?
No, there's not. It doesn't actually say what they did. They could have starved themselves for like a prolonged period of time, high output.
That's one of the problems, isn't it, though? Like,
I think so, because you can only share so much in the caption.
Because it is that you're never going to say, oh, my client starved himself for 20 weeks, by the way, to get
shredded in 12 weeks, eating minimal calories, high output, high stress.
Yeah.
Sleep like shit.
We were talking about it's being shredded overrated, right?
Yeah, definitely. Good.
And, well, if I put up a picture of somebody bodybuilding, like, is that the epitome of health? You know what I mean? Is that, what way did, it's tricky, man. Like, it's not, and sometimes it can, maybe if people don't see it in the context that you see it as, maybe they only see the picture and they think, oh, this is very possible, or this is something that's sustainable for everyone. This is the way I should always look. So I can definitely see the negative side of it, for sure.
I just wonder how else though. I mean, you touched on it previously, saying that you could. How else would you showcase that then? How else would you showcase that you can get someone in the best shape possible?
I mean, you could use testimonials. So like, if we think
Or
of,
you could just get your mum or someone to do that, or you just tell your mate, "Oh, could you do a testimonial for me?"
yeah, like written testimonials, like, you know, like in
Written
Latin
testimonial. I don't even look at them because you
could
could
be
just
anything.
write what you want.
books. Yeah, it's so true.
Like you could, like, genuinely. I guess if you're like doing a video one, I guess there's a bit more element where
There
it
you
might
go,
be like,
yeah.
yeah, maybe this is a bit more legit. But the written ones is like, come on, man, you could just word it that however you want. Get on Chat GTPT and just put in what you want. I guess that's the same with the photos as well. Like I think there's a lot of people, and some people have been caught out
Photoshopping it.
photoshopping their transformations.
Yeah. Was it people influencers do all the time?
Of course.
Was it? There's a who's it guy? Is it Goob U2 or something like whatever his name? Where he's looking at people's
Yeah.
Yeah,
He called
right,
out.
so
He
it's
called out
loads-
Courtney Black.
So loads of women or even guys, right? So women do that thing where they warp their images so that
The
you
waist is smaller.
The waist is smaller, whatever. Celebrities do it as well.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and the guys do the opposite where they do the thing with the muscle.
Well, you have to do that as well, don't you? What is it now where you have to post saying that if you used AI?
Oh yeah, I seen that actually. I was reading about that.
What platform is that on?
That's on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. And you have to tick whether you used AI or not.
Yeah, but then is that like a copyright thing then? Because it's like,
I'm not
it's
sure,
like
but I think
this belongs to ChatGPT.
But I think if it identifies that you have used it through whatever
Yeah.
software they use, then you can take the post down, I guess.
Oh shit.
Is that when if you're being paid to post something, you have to say that this is a paid advert or whatever, it's paid promotion or whatever.
There's this mad AI now as well where you can like superimpose people's head,
Yes,
their face or whatever or a face onto a body. That's nuts. And like it's very realistic. It's like it's a video, right? So you might think, oh, this is that.
But I think that's the way that it's going now, though, isn't it? Like you'll be able to do like Photoshop on steroids. Like basically, is what AI
yeah,
is.
it is, isn't it?
Whereas before, you could, I guess, there was always a way to tell. Whereas, but I mean, look at some of the things they do in the movies. Like you wouldn't even know that they're not real or whatever. You wouldn't even know. So now you have access to that at your desktop.
Yeah.
People could be able to do crazy things. Like I reckon you'll be able to soon, like even fake like a deadlift. You'll be able to just add plates onto a bar.
Have you seen the fake one, the deadlift?
No,
where
where?
so they're pulling like this, right? They're struggling.
Oh, he's up against. He's
Yeah,
laying on the
he's
floor.
against the
Yeah,
wall,
it's
yeah.
funny.
That is
Like
funny.
that's more clever though than
yeah.
trying to be like. But I guess that's what's coming, and I guess that's what if you're looking at someone's profile and looking for whatever. I guess that's becoming harder to determine, isn't it? Which is a shame because it kind of deters from people that are doing good work with their clients and clients that are doing a lot of good work as well.
Yeah. I mean, it also takes away from the fact that I think the before and after sometimes it takes away from the fact that it isn't just about the look. So like, the whole transformation is, people are in it. Maybe the look is what attracts people in, but you're in it not just because of you want to lose fat. It's also the health markers. Let's say if you borderline diabetes, you want to reduce that. So maybe if you're looking at social proof on that aspect, you could be taking pictures of people's, I don't know, their health markers. Maybe bodybuilders do their blood.
For sure, yeah,
No,
definitely.
my blood's
Also,
in it.
like,
but even then, that can easily be manipulated, right?
I think even people that go, like you said, people that go on that fitness journey, even though they might not achieve the desired look that you're looking for, but how much happier and stress-free and more positive their outlook is, that can't be documented in a before and after.
Yeah, that's
Which
true.
I think is a big part of any sort of weight loss. Anyone that kind of achieves what they set out to do, there's always that feel-good feeling that comes with it.
Because I was looking at in terms of if we look at before and afters, like I was looking in terms of my point of view. Let's say, I thought, there's business mentors, right? They're posting that, oh, this person joined my program. Now they're earning like 10K, 20K. So all of that, great, right? And some of it is like hidden in terms of this is not actually monthly recurring. It's like people just taking payment in fulls, right? And then there's the other side of it where maybe you yourself, and even myself, find that looking is like, shit, man, this coach, like, and you look at their page, no transformations, no results, nothing, right? And you're like, oh, this person's making money. And you're like, oh, fuck, what am I doing? And you feel that comparison syndrome.
Of
where
course,
you're
I
like-
think comparison syndrome is a real thing.
Yeah, so you're comparing yourself with this person. Like, why are they able to make so much money, and then you're not able to make? And that it can almost become a negative thing.
Yeah, but
I think same thing
that's
can
where
potentially happen when it comes to before and afters as
I
well.
think that's where social media though that's the dark side. Because anyone can post it. You could post a client that you're working with and say, "Oh, I transformed their business from so and so to so and so," and it not be real. But how would anyone know?
They wouldn't, would they?
You wouldn't know. But I guess that's where you just have to be a bit clever with what you're looking at and the content that you're digesting online.
I mean, I keep going back to the business mentors, but there's like you can see you know when people do video like voice like video testimonials of a client. I see like there's one person that I saw, and he was on one page, one mentorship, and he was like, oh, you know, before I started, I was earning like nothing, or you know, I didn't have many clients, and now afterwards, you know, without this, I wouldn't be able to build my business. I'm earning X amount of money. Next minute, I go into a different page, fucking same shit. Go to another page, another mentor, same shit. Another one, mate, 4 or 5 mentors, same guy, pin post. What the fuck? Is this real or is this just bullshit?
I don't know. I guess they're just
because it has to be bullshit. Because how can you say before? Or before when?
Yeah, the only time that you'd be able to know is if you actually ask the person, I guess. But how many times are you going to do that?
Even if you ask that person, I bet you like there's an ego thing when it comes to business, right? And you know, coaches, people don't want to admit that they're not actually doing. Like, imagine a post that's come out to say that, and you've backed it, you've put in a testimony, you've said, like verbally, I make this amount and I've done this. Did you do that or not? Because it also says that you did it in this next one. The guy's not gonna fucking. You think this person's gonna message you back? Maybe this person's getting a kick out there, you know, getting referral money or whatever for making those testimonials.
It's true.
Do you know what I
Soon
mean?
you have AI making testimonials.
That's what I mean. So, like, I definitely succumb to that kind of shit as well. So, like, because of seeing that testimonial, I was like, oh wow, maybe it, you know, is pretty good, which makes you then buy into the mentorship. But then actually later down the line, when you've bought into it, you realize this is actually shit, and that's bullshit because I was just seeing you here and here. But then maybe that's like I blame myself.
Is that a marketing technique, or is it
just fraud? Because I blame myself in terms of I should do more research before purchasing,
research
right?
always,
Because there are scammers out there.
But would you not? Is part of it clever, or is
Lying.
it just pure deceit? But you will never know if it is pure lying, though.
Well, you know it's lying.
How?
How can you go from one mentorship to another?
No.
And
But what I'm saying is, you can say that, but you wouldn't without actually having any like evidence.
But it is evident that it's a lie.
But how would it be?
One of these is a lie. At least.
But you don't know. You don't know. You wouldn't be comfortable to call someone out on it.
I would be very comfortable. Because how could you say that I didn't earn this much? You basically said the same thing in the next mentorship.
You could have had all the mentorships at the same time.
Rare.
He could have went from 0 to 10K with one guy.
Yeah.
Then he left, lost a few clients. Then he went to another guy, did the same thing again. You never know.
But then is that...
That's what I'm saying about being confident in your conviction.
But then that becomes almost hiding the truth, right, of what you're actually saying.
Yes and no.
And
because what they're being truthful about what they're saying. They did this with this person.
But I think one of the posts was like, I'm making consistent. The word is consistent. Is that consistent?
I don't know how anything would be consistent with a monthly recurring revenue.
That's what I mean. But he's like, I'm making consistent like X amount, a 10K month, let's say, for example.
I don't know. I think there needs to be. We spoke about this in terms of online coaches.
Yeah.
So possibly with like mentorships, is there like there isn't, but there should maybe be like some sort of what's the word? It's the way you have an insurance against those people. Where it's like, you know, we said about if you're going to be an online coach, you have to have a qualification. Sorry, that's a better way of wording it. So if you're going to be an online business mentor or whatever, you've done a certain course or something to give you.
I think a lot of them have done a course.
What course?
Whatever they're.
No, but that's what I mean. But like a proper where it's like it's universal.
Because they all come up with the same shit. They all sell the same. They say the same things, man. They are just like online coaches.
So what makes you different?
Huh?
What makes you different?
Me? No, I'm not different at all. I'm joking. But why? Like what I've been. The advice that I've been given is like when you create the business based around what things that people struggle with, right? And how you feel like you can get a result for that individual. So you tailor your program, or what your features are, is completely based around the individual who needs the help, right? So let's say if you are struggling, for myself, for my clients, is like they're struggling to get better client results, for example. So I have the course inside to teach you the soft skills of how to improve your coaching, right? But everyone says generic things, right? Everyone says the same.
I mean, I
thing.
guess there's only so many things that you can say.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like, you're going to end up ultimately...
Sounds the same. Right?
Yeah, just different ways of framing it. Some people might have a better way of putting it across, better content, or whatever. I guess when you're working with someone like that, it's more about how can they get the best out of you. And you might have to try 2-3 different people until you find that one person where it's like, actually,
yeah, this is the one.
we click. And
it's just like online coaching.
Yeah,
right?
it's just like online coaching. You might have to try a few.
It's a big try, because they sell big packages.
Like, it is a big try, but I guess that's where,
and it's a lot of money.
It's having the ability though to pull the plug if you feel like this is not what's best for you.
Sometimes you can't pull the plug though, because it's such a big investment. Do you know what I mean?
But if you're paying monthly, you can pull the plug.
They don't charge you monthly. That's the thing. They charge you monthly, but you contracted to X amount.
Yes and no. Like, as in, if you're contracted to it, but I guess that's then where you just need to look at I was always told, whatever the situation, take something positive from it.
Yeah, of course. But
so whether that be when you're on these courses or whatever, you take something, even if you think it's shit, still there'll be something that you can take from it.
Well, for me, it was, I knew that it was shit, and this is exactly how I don't want to run my business.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So you took something away from it and turned it into something different. I guess is having that ability though, which is difficult, especially when you're in it and you're like you said, for some, like, it is a big outlay, and then you're panicking, thinking, oh shit, I've paid for this thing and it's not working, and this, that, and the other. But especially I guess that's where it becomes more frustrating if you're giving it 100% and it comes down to luck, whether you'll be successful or not with that, I guess. So
anyway, we're talking about social proof anyway. We're just having a massive rant on business mentors. But yeah, I mean, going back to what you could use instead of before and afters, you could use, pictures of clients holding, I do a lot at shoots as well when they wear their old clothes.
Yeah, that's cool.
But again,
you
could just buy bigger clothes.
Do you think there's any is there any way where you could like foolproof and say, if we do this, I guess you wouldn't, unless they're documenting it on their page. I guess that's always a decent way of showing it, because then you could just do a post of saying, like, head over to so and so's profile to look at
the whole journey,
that they went on. But then I guess you're asking your client to do a lot on top as well, if that makes sense.
They may not necessarily want to.
No, of course, some people don't. Like, I work with people that are like,
I think most people don't.
You do not post these pictures anywhere, and that's a trust thing as well. Like, I would never. If they say don't post them, like, you're not going to turn around and be like, oh no, please, I need it for my business. Like, it's like, well, there's nothing you can do about it.
I find a lot of clients, they may start like that, and when you get them the result, they're like, okay, let's post it.
Yeah,
they love it.
It's true.
And they can't believe that that's the way they look, and they're very proud of it. And that's what's really cool. I think everyone always starts off like that, and then they become proud of how they look. Yeah, and that's when you've
done a good fucking job. Yeah,
a really good job. I've had clients as well, like in terms of, we're looking at the positive sides. They said to me before starting, they're like, I want to be one of the transformations that you post. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's like a goal.
That's cool.
That's fucking cool, right? Yeah. And you think, well, this is that's pretty motivating for these individuals, and I think that's where the positive side of it can be. And when you're looking at those transformations and the before and afters, there is definitely different ways that you could potentially do it. But again, it also doesn't guarantee that it's not going, like, it's not fake either.
I guess you'll never be able to guarantee if it's fake or not.
Yeah.
Or like, the transformation may be real, but like you said, the context may be not that accurate that's being shared.
And I think before and afters, why people use it is because it bangs, right? It works.
Well, it's quick and easy, isn't it, as well?
But it just works, right? It's like when you scroll through and you see something which is like, whoa, that's like crazy. It's like it's attractive, right? It's eye catching, and people engage in it more. And basically, the eyes on it feeds the algorithm. It feeds the beast. So the more people see it and they like it and they buy from it, the more people are gonna keep creating it, right?
For sure. It definitely works.
For sure.
It definitely works.
I mean, look, you're selling a result. If you're selling a transformation, there's no other proof that you can get a transformation other than
it's
the
even
fucking
like
transformation.
even if you're like showing someone, oh, this was their deadlift or squat when they started with me, and then by the end of their program we added 20 kilos to like whatever. Even that's still it's a before and after, but it still does the job, doesn't it? It's impressive and stuff. So
people could be like severely like not training or whatever and fake it again.
I guess that's a bit harder to fake though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like fake in a sense of
I could do it on the same fucking day.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just pull really difficult in different clothes and then record the next video.
True. I mean, you have to be
just
some sick person to do that.
That's what I mean. It's zero integrity, but
but for some people though, it's
I wouldn't
not,
put it past them.
No, of course not.
I definitely wouldn't put it past them. So yeah, there's definitely loads of negatives of it, but I think what would you say the positive sides of
before and after? I think it's just very clear, isn't it? Like as in, this was what it was. I know it sounds dumb, but this is what it was before. Then we did this, and then this is what it looked like afterwards. I guess just before we start touching the positives, my thing with a before and after is I want to see the before, the after, and then the after.
After.
The after.
Yeah. But how many years?
Don't know, not necessarily years, but it's like, like when you watch, I use Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares as an example, because that's what the program is. It's about before Gordon came, this is what it was like. Then afterwards, this was like. Then a couple episodes later,
what happened?
They're like, well, 6 months time, this is what happened to that restaurant.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, they still shut down.
Really?
Yeah, because
they go back to their old ways.
Yeah, they couldn't sustain that level without someone being there or whatever. And I think that's what makes, if you're a really good online coach, the after stays.
I see, with that, I still think sometimes it is difficult because you could still teach people everything and they might still be able to sustain it, but there's still an onus on that individual to not go back to their old ways, right?
Of course. For sure. Definitely. But I think that's when then do you stay with them, your guidance from that. It's like when you finish a diet phase,
of course,
that period of time afterwards is the most important.
Yeah. But sometimes that's not under your control.
No, it's not.
The client wants to leave.
Yeah.
Because they're done with it. They don't see the value in the after, right? So sometimes it's like, well, I didn't have the chance to. Yes, you can still like I tried to coach people to diet the way that they would live.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, you may have to do some things which are not necessarily what you're always going to do forever, but the bulk of it is pretty much the same. So that when you finish, even if you decide to leave beforehand, you should still have a decent idea of how to live your life because you've been dieting that way the whole time. And only if you decide actively to not go back to your old ways, there's nothing that's going to stop you from.
Yeah, of course.
You can teach them everything. They know exactly how and why, but they just go back to their old ways, and because it's easier to do that. Right?
But then with that guidance have there, I guess that's the
I think there is a little bit of context for that as well. Sometimes it's like even if you do all the work that you can do, it's still not possible to 100% keep that off, and it may not necessarily be your control.
The only thing I would say to that is when we talk about whether you learn something, like learning is lifelong.
Yeah.
So if you remember something,
yeah,
for a period of time, and then it comes to like later down the line, you can't remember it. You haven't actually learnt it.
Yeah. But these people.
So then, how does that then correlate to on like before and after? Because they've not taken anything away that they then impact their life without you. Have you really had that much of an impact?
The thing is, they may not necessarily not have learned it. They may have learned it, but they've just chosen not to utilize that.
Utilize it. Okay, I see.
I think I definitely think there is aspects where people don't teach them anything. Like you're not dieting the way that they would live.
I guess that's the point where it's like you're spoon feeding. It's like every day is like do this, do that.
Sometimes people want to be spoon fed as well. There is an element of that, and it's like how this is where the coaching, you as a coach needs to do your part in educating the client, right? So even though they're getting spoon fed, you still need to keep giving them you kind of give them what they want, but coach them through what they need. So you know that later down the line, this is like certain aspects they need to learn, certain behaviors they need to enable and engulf. So you force them to kind of do those kind of things, and you drip it in during the coaching. So let's say, for example, in the beginning, you might have to go through the menu with your client and say, look, I want you to eat this, this, this. And then your client might be always sending you the menu. What can I eat from here? And later down the line, what you might do is, if they ask you, instead of answering and spoon feeding, you might ask them. Like, I ask them back, like, what do you think is a good choice? Like, what would you make here? You've been doing it for a while. And they might answer it, and then you can correct that. Right? And over time, there's a different kind of way of communicating with that client to then kind of teach them what they need without forcing it on them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it too.
So it is that that whole game is tricky, man, and it's up to you as a coach to. I think until you do it for long enough, you don't realize where you can fit in to teach these people. Because if you just put on a seminar every single month or every week, I'm going to teach you this. Like, how many people really care? But it needs to be an active learning, right? Something which people feel like they're learning by applying it to their life, applying it to what they're actually doing right now. So I tell you, just eat 40 grams of protein, whatever. You don't give a fuck, right? Really. But if you tell them why and you teach them how they can do it, what it looks like in terms of food, communicate it in a way that the client's going to understand and can apply it immediately to their life, they're going to learn that much easier, right? It's like, like the kids that you teach at school, right? If you teach them it in a way that actually they can relate to, they probably would
remember it for longer,
yeah. And I think, the whole transformation, like you said, right? If people want 6 packs, it shows them
shows that you can do it, yeah.
Fucking, this is a 6-pack, right? This is it's very straightforward, and I think even if a client doesn't want, just wants fat loss and they don't want to be fucking shredded, right? They're still gonna go for a coach who has got those transformations.
Yeah,
right?
those results. Yeah, they want to see some sort of social proof.
Yeah, because it's like, let's say you like golf, right? And you want to learn how to play golf. And there's 2 coaches there. One coach just coaches like normal people, and another coach is Rory McIlroy's coach there. Who are you going to pay for? Let's say if you could afford
it, go McIlroy.
Exactly, you can go for his coach, right? Because you're like, well, he's fucking professional. I don't want to be pro, but he's going to be fucking better, right? And it's the same for body transformations. Like, even if I know that I don't want to look like this guy's done it to the extreme. He's coached these. Why not? This person, he probably knows what he's doing, right?
You'd like to think so.
Yeah, you'd like to think so, right?
They're not AI images.
He might be luck. I just happened to get Roy McIlroy, and he's genetically blessed to be
of course.
the best golfer.
But that could be part of it, though.
Could be, yeah.
That's why, when it comes down to people that are competing, obviously you have to attract these people. Don't get me wrong, but if you attract
the best,
just someone who doesn't even know what they're capable of, then you just take that.
That's luck, isn't it?
You just take that. You just take that credit, don't you?
That's just luck, isn't it?
It's all luck.
But yeah, I think it's really tricky. I don't know what the answer is here. I can definitely see both sides of it, and the aspect of it, people might get eating disorders from it. Where it's like, they want to look a certain way and they have to eat, those kind of calories to kind of achieve that. And it may give people a really bad relationship with food. Not everybody has eating disorder.
No, and some people can just do it for the sake of doing it.
Some people, if you look at before and afters, everyone, it's the assumption that most people can't achieve that, right? But there's quite a few people that can probably still, I have a client that I said to you before, she has abs all year round. And it's like, yes, that is not achievable for a lot of people, but for her, it's very achievable.
For her, it is, yeah.
But then, so what? You know, like if you put a before and after, that's not false advertising. It's not like, oh well, she had to eat nothing. Your assumption was that
Yeah.
she had to eat nothing because you couldn't get there, but she could get there. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's where it comes down to as well. Again, who you're being influenced by. If you're following someone that you truly believe to be like someone that can get people in good shape and do whatever, then you're gonna buy into whatever it is that they're selling, rather than someone who, you know, you don't necessarily have that online relationship with or that connection with, I guess.
Yeah, I think it can be very motivating and inspiring for certain people. Like I said, you know, my client, he came to me and he was like, I want to be one of those people.
But it's like, I guess it's like those, you know, I train at Muscle Works, one of the old school ones, and they had all of the pictures and stuff on the wall.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I went, it was like, I need to get on that wall.
That's what I mean.
I'm like, I don't care what it is, but I said, I need to get on that wall.
That was the thing, right? When I first started, like, I would see all these people, and then there's like a little part of the gym wall where it's not just Dorian or whatever.
It's like,
the members, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, fucking hell, this guy looks good, man. You know, I seen this guy in the gym. I want to be up on that wall.
Yeah,
and
so
it's part of that, right? It's like motivating.
part
But
of
I
it.
think it's different people, right? Some people can.
some people
absolutely
love like being posted on your coach's page is like, yeah, you made it, I guess.
You think?
Yeah, I remember the first time AJ posted me, I was like, that's it, mum.
I made it. Mama made it.
But that wasn't necessarily my intention, if that makes sense. That just kind of came.
It feels good, doesn't it?
Just came with it.
Like I guess it's that part of thing where like someone's proud of what you've done. You know, that kind of situation. But you know, if we're looking at it in terms of people say, oh, you know, you shouldn't, like, they're bad and you don't want to post them. You don't want to add to that, feed that algorithm. You don't want to feed the beast that is doing that, right? You don't want to be part of that problem. You know, I think there could be a lot of other things that you're going to have to look to filter as well. Like, where does that stop? You know, if we look at, you know, perfectionism, you know, a lot of influencers, they're influencing and only showing the highlights of their life. Like, how do you change that? You know, do you then have to have like a filter for that? You know, the makeup, you know, people do loads of makeup, right? Do you have to filter that? Because that may influence younger females to feel like, oh, I need to put makeup, I need to look this certain way. Luxury cars, right? As well, like, or luxury items, like people, materialism. You know, people think, oh wow, this person's young, they got this amount, I need to do this as well. It's that comparison thing, right?
Yeah, of course, always.
And then at what point does that stop? If you're saying before and afters is a really bad thing, like, at what point do you have to then draw the line of, this is like, you're gonna have to filter out fucking a lot of shit.
I don't think
It's
you
on
can.
that same level.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
It's on that same level, right, of how it could potentially impact somebody.
Well, I don't know. I guess coaches could be more aware about what they're posting
For sure.
and how that can be perceived. And is it going to have a negative impact or a positive impact?
But then it's difficult to cater for everyone.
And I think again, I don't think they should have to, because I think it's about you post whatever's going to be best for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, because
So you post what's going to be best for your business. So if the best thing for your business is to keep every day or every other day putting up transformations that you've been a part of, masterminded or whatever, then that's what you're going to do, isn't it?
do you think it's then up to the individual to filter out?
I guess so. I guess that's then when it
Because if
comes
you
down
don't
to,
like that stuff, then just don't follow those pages.
well, if a transformation post is going to make you feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
well, why would you continue to follow that page or whatever? If it's going to make you unhappy with how you are internally or whatever, you pick who you follow at the end of the day, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Sometimes, yes, you may come across something, but then you can easily just scroll past it and the algorithm will dictate that, well, they don't like this, let's stop showing it to them at some point. It's like when you're in prep and you're dieting and all you get is food on your feed, and then when you finish prep, you don't get food anymore. Like,
It's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, simple.
Yeah, you feed the beast yourself.
Feed the beast yourself, man.
Yeah, so are before and afters bad? I
would say they're not. I don't think they're as bad as they could be. So what I mean by that is I don't think people overthink them that much.
Hearing.
I don't know.
It's very popular.
It's very
always
popular,
been-
and
it's
it's
always
always a thing. And they always go down, like you said, they always go down well. Like they'll, unless you're posting like a really
But then, do you really hear? I guess I'm surrounded by that, right? I don't really necessarily hear the bad side of it either. You know what I mean?
I guess so.
Because that's kind of
But
why.
have you ever had anyone hate on one of your transformation posts?
No, I don't think so. No.
Like no one's ever said like this is not real or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe. Actually, yeah. Not necessarily mine, but my clients. So when she was
Yeah,
transforming
that's what I mean.
somebody, she posted a picture of herself, and then some random person was like, "I think you look better before."
Yeah, I mean I've had where I've posted things of myself and then people are like steroids,
Yeah.
not natty, and it's like oof, you always gonna get something, I guess.
Yeah. So
Like, and I guess that's on the platform, but like you're just like pff, whatever.
yeah, it always kind of goes somewhere, right? And then the wrong person, but it gets pushed to somebody that doesn't. Maybe I don't know. They don't have a face or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
on
yeah,
their
of course,
face,
yeah,
always
it's a
that
bot.
random person, right? And it becomes. It's not for everyone. I think before and afters definitely they're not for everyone, but I'm not
For the
really-
majority, I think they are
You think so?
for sure.
I think it's definitely an interesting one. It's something that I've always toyed around with the idea. I can definitely see the side of it, but at the same time, it's like it builds business, right? And it may not necessarily mean that I push everyone to that level, but it's and you have to set the conditions right. You have to set the expectations for your clients as well. If you need to understand what that may potentially look like for you, because it's a lot of people see the transformation. They see this guy kind of looks like me, so then they see themselves kind of
This
in
could
the
be me.
before. So then they think, oh, maybe I can be in the after. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, you don't know what this person's life is like. Maybe they're set up for it. Maybe it's luck that they can set themselves up to be that way.
Yeah.
They may look
We'll
like
never
you.
know.
They may look like you in the before, but maybe they are not a business owner. Maybe they're
Maybe
not
they're
a
doing
parent.
steroids.
Maybe they are doing steroids, to get into that position. So you don't really know the full context behind it. So you can have your own version of that. And I think it's important to illustrate that to your client and to explain that. And that's what I try to do is explain that journey to my client more so than...
Well, you're on your
just
own
that.
journey, aren't you? At the end of the day,
Absolutely, yeah.
so
So there's definitely context. And I think it's up to then the coach to push people down that avenue in which direction and set the expectations out for them.
for sure.
So yeah, I don't think it's an easy question to really answer. And the thing is, as long as you don't force everyone to achieve that shredded look, you can kind of vet people out. You can filter people through your system. Then you're good. But yeah, we hope you found this discussion interesting. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to leave a review on iTunes and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you disagree with us, you can find me at Instagram on Instagram at Gym with Him, and my co-host is at Archie13 with 2 E's. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all in the next one. Okay, thank you. All right.
Spicy, man. That
Spicy. Did you get the spice on it?
no, but I get mild and medium, and I put the Tabasco Chipotle on. That's nicer.
I'll put that spice thing on it. That's nice.
That's too spicy, bro.
Pussy.
Not in front of me. Not in front of me.
Right.
Do you want to do the camera thing again with the code?
No, we don't need to.
Okay.
It's already preset. No.
So you know more. That's good, that little thing.
It's right in it. Cheeky. All right, let's go. Welcome back to Stick to Fitness, brought to you by myself and my co-host Archie. And for today's topic of discussion is, are the use of before and afters bad?